You are about to opt in to MONEROTOPIA, a show for the Monero community where all are welcome to join. From noob to maxi, no matter what bags you hold. Just sit back and relax to the sweet sounds of Monero's latest progress. If you want to win the revolution faster, we recommend you remove your XMR from all custodial exchanges immediately. Warning, voting accidents are common around here. Don't forget to properly secure your private keys. MONEROTOPIA starts now.
All right.
All righty, my friend. How are you?
Can everybody hear us out there?
The many viewers that we have live?
Sounds much better when you hold it next to your mouth.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Hello, everyone.
Nice microphone. Sir.
Thanks. I tried to get something to match the shade of my eyes.
So let's go around the room. Can you quickly introduce yourself?
Sure.
I had you on a Monero Talk a few weeks ago.
I'm Christopher Gronsky. I'm with destinationfreedom.org. Okay, there you go. Yeah, Destination Freedom. We help people eliminate their income tax liability. And so we want people to be free and be responsible as well as to secure their rights. So I'm a freedom consultant, so I help people do that.
Very cool. And you're been going to Porcfest for like forever, right?
Yeah, since the beginning. I think I've missed two, and I think it was 2011, 12, something like that. I was in the West Coast checking out things out there, and so I never made those two. But yeah, this is our community here in New Hampshire. It's lovely. I mean, and Porcfest is Porcfest being the Porcupine Festival. Mm-hmm. Although I think they're serving pig up down below. Yeah, it's really porcupine. Meaning the porcupine is a very docile animal. You can do a YouTube search on the porcupine eating. You'll see they're like really cute. But if you mess with them, it's really a bad thing. That's what they're known for. So, but that's the idea of a porcupine is that they're non-aggression. They're practicing the non-aggression principle, but don't mess with them.
They're armed.
So that right, exactly.
It's like here.
It's like
everybody's
here,
walking
exactly.
around with a pistol on there. But as your wife was saying, there's never, knock on wood, been any violent events.
No, it's
an
armed society peaceful. Is a polite society. Yeah. There are no jerks when you're armed. So, but no, that's the idea is that people do that because they kind of want to flex their liberty muscles and such, and so it's really just a beautiful thing. I remember that one year or whatever, there was this gal in a nice beautiful pink tea dress, and she's carrying an AK-47. It's just awesome, and I think I saw one gal scantily clad with an outfit, and she's got like an 8-inch revolver with all the bullets around the back. It's like, wow, okay, that looks cool. She looks like a cowboy. That's awesome.
Which I think is why we're seeing a nice Monero presence here as well, right? I think that all ties into it. This idea of everybody, using the best technology to secure themselves.
I agree. There's a lot of people here that for what they're vending for, they take Monero, other cryptocurrencies. But yeah, this is a big a community that's serious about their privacy and such as that. So that's a big presence here. A lot of people feel that way. A lot of Monero supporters and privacy coins, stuff like that.
Gold backs too.
And sir, please introduce yourself.
I'm James. I'm a cryptocurrency and Monero aficionado as part of a larger interest in automation.
Larger interest in automation?
Yeah, automation. Right.
Okay. And you've been coming for like same as me, right? We met last year.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We met
so
last year.
We don't have this long arc perspective. We're Porcfest noobs.
That's right. That's right. The 2 years we've come are the 2 years they've sold out.
Right. Yep. We came after it was already
after it was hot. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if I might ask, is why did you come back? I mean, what was it about the first one that brought you back again?
Well, I came with my family. We have a nice time with the family. My kids like it. My wife likes it. And, we have fun. In addition to learning, we sit in on the talks and learn about political perspectives and cryptocurrency. There's cryptocurrency talks and all good.
Yeah,
a lot of kids.
Same here.
Right, a lot of kids, a lot of families.
We came the first time and we were just blown away. It was like it was like a true, you know, Disneyland, right? Like people just hanging out, doing whatever they want.
Goofy, Tinkerbell.
Yeah.
All here.
Yeah. No, it's very cool.
There's people with different color hair. There's everything, you know.
But whether you're a kid or you're an adult, it's the same vibe among everybody, and everybody's just, you know, living this free market, free society for, you know, whatever it is, 5 days. But it's a good time. So
it's a good time, and it's an easy,
very unique experience. Pressure. Like obviously, this is what we want it to be on a much broader scale, right? But you guys are successfully emulating it here.
It's fun
for 5 days.
Yeah, people will set up shop in whatever it is they want to set up shop, and everything from teaching to food to, you know, clothing and things and stuff. I mean, people are selling, you know, gold, silver, the whole cryptocurrency, the whole thing. And so it's really lovely to see that show up. And there's, you know, people aren't licensing and doing all of those things. They're just showing up and giving of themselves, and people are participating. This is a private event. This is not a public event. And so it's beautiful that way.
Yeah. When I came, the first time I came was because I had heard about it for so long. And I knew like Bitcoin was very, very big there. And like kind of Bitcoin came out of Porcfest in many ways. That's where it started to, you know, gain marketing attention. But I was wondering if people were into Monero there, because for me, if they weren't, then something would be amiss. Like if all these liberty-loving people that actually understand this stuff aren't using Monero, then we have a problem. So I came last year and was, you know, happy to find actually a lot of people do use Monero, and then came back this year, and I feel like it's even grown, right? Would you say?
I'd say it's grown. Yeah. Last year, if you remember, Pirate Chain was really big.
Yeah, they had a big
booth with movies at night and lots of great like
Pirates of the Caribbean.
But they're not here this year, I noticed, and or if they're here, they don't have the same presence they did last year. But Monero is always strong. You see the Monero tags all around, and
we're a little more subtle than Pirate Chain.
Right.
Yeah, I think so.
But,
you're not here.
Really consistent.
Yeah, because I mean, we saw the thing I loved about, you know, being in Miami at the conference there was, you know, here this Bitcoin thing was going on in Miami, and I remember going over there, and you know, it felt very corporate and all that stuff. But the Monero community at the Monero conference was very connected, and people were like this, you know, where people are, you know, loving each other, being together and all. And I think that's the beauty of a free society, is where people are, you know, naturally respecting each other and all that, and that doesn't involve the state, you know. And so that's beautiful, I think.
Yeah.
And the discussions were very philosophical there. It was nice being in on the discussions, like here.
That's cool.
Did you learn about crypto at Porcfest? Is that where you were first introduced to crypto?
Yeah, I think so. I remember my wife had a big interest in it back in, I think it was in, I think it might have been 2017 or something like that, or before. And they had a big Bitcoin blow up thing there. And so, you know, people were talking about Bitcoin. And I think Bitcoin, if it was a couple bucks, I'd be surprised, you know, and she's like, oh, I should have been there for that. But we got in when we did. But the thing that I thought was cool was, and I wasn't necessarily that I was an advocate of cryptocurrency in general, you know, and of course, you know, we had precious metal and such as that. But as I was learning about the distinctions between cryptocurrency and precious metal, we realized that, you know, precious metal is not as easy to use, trade, travel with, and all that stuff. It's cumbersome. And in our modern technology, something digitized, or, you know, whether you're buying online or doing whatever it is, you want your money to go as fast as you want it to go. And digital is like that. And so once I started seeing that, oh, there's something competing with banks, I'm in. I don't care what it is. Even if I wasn't participating, if it was competing with banks, that's good enough for me. So I was already there. But someone had said, I don't know if it was Jeff Berwick or somebody was saying that I liked about Monero, was they said, you know, Monero is the Bitcoin they wanted because the privacy aspect is there. And I thought that, for me, that's when I moved my asset from the Bitcoin having in Bitcoin to privacy coin and to Monero, because I think I agree with that completely. Privacy will be premium even now, but in the future, privacy is everything. Yeah.
So, any comment on that?
Oh, yeah, right. Like they like to say, Monero is what a lot of people think Bitcoin is. Yeah, my path was very similar. Started with Bitcoin, and then kind of realized that privacy was important when you start spending Bitcoin. I think if you spend Bitcoin, you start thinking, well, what is the history of this, and where it's going. I mean, a lot of people forget it's if you use Bitcoin, it's not just the past, but the future that also is visible. And
you got a big bug there.
And once you once you start doing that and thinking about that, you really come to appreciate Monero and the fact that you don't need to worry about all that baggage when you spend and use it.
Yeah.
I think that the nice thing about Bitcoin is no bank. People talk about it. What's its what's it based on, and they want to know what that inherent value is. Well, how about no banks in between you and the other party? How's that for enough for that? But the idea is that's one thing, and that's nice. But that privacy, to where just like a cash transaction that it doesn't involve anybody else but yourself, and that it's anonymous, that has huge value. And I think that's what Monero brings to the table. I like that about that.
What else do you think needs to be done to help start building out a Monero circular economy? We see it here working for 5 days essentially. Everybody's here, they can use crypto all the time. I know you live in New Hampshire, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah. You might experience it on a more daily basis, but what do you think can be done to help grow that beyond Porcfest, New Hampshire?
Yeah, I think that anybody in the digital currency space has some sort of duty to invite others to be in that space. And the beauty of getting involved in that space now is like we're watching the dollar collapse. And one of the beautiful things about freedom is we don't have to be working to end the dollar. That's naturally occurring. But the idea is you can just have this economy occur independent of that. And then people can just choose, and then you just see the weight of that go into certainly cryptocurrency and all of that. I think that obviously Bitcoin has that brand, and people will talk about that, and that's a pretty natural thing. But in talking to people about the value of coming into Monero or other altcoins, it's a huge blessing in that crypto space. When people are in that space, whether in Bitcoin or whatever, having their privacy, I think is part of that. And I think that when you're talking about cryptocurrency, inviting people into that space, privacy is a huge part that should come up for people. I think it's responsible. And but again, I think I had talked to you before about usually when I'm at the grocery store or someplace, I just look at them and say, when they're looking for cash, credit, or whatever, I was you take Bitcoin or do you take Monero? You can just ask them, and they'll say, what? I'm like, oh, you don't? Okay, let me see. You take Federal Reserve notes? No, I don't take Federal Reserve notes. You don't take Federal Reserve notes? They don't know what Federal Reserve notes are, So, but the idea is that you're asking them. And then eventually at the grocery store, the lady there said, well, I wish we did. It's like, oh, okay, we get something coming back. But that's the way it is. That's how you begin to break that into that market. And I went to the manager and said, when are you going to set up a kiosk to take cryptocurrency and such as that? I was like, oh, I don't know if we'll ever do that. It's like, so he gave me the number for corporate and the address. So I'm going to write to them and invite them to help them set up and say, look, you take welfare things at a particular kiosk and stuff. Like, this is very easy to do. And if you set this up, here's the beauty for your company. You can do a press release is like, we're now taking cryptocurrency. And so you get free press. It's newsworthy that your store begins to take cryptocurrency, and Monero should be, in that group.
Yeah.
So I think that's great. And then I would suggest to them that if I could know who their vendors are, I would go and invite them to do business with them because they're taking crypto. Right. And it's all set up so that you can stay in business, even though the dollars, the cost of everything by dollars is going up.
Yeah. The stand behind us, the guy behind us, we we heard from a friend that he was requesting Monero last night when people were paying. He's like, I take whatever, nice. But Monero preferred.
Yeah, I would right now. So I mean, I'm trying to buy some.
Like I'll sell it to you at what do you say? Is like I'll sell it to you at a deep discount if you pay Monero. No, so those are good things that you like to hear. It's like, check, like, all right.
Exactly. I think it has that kind of value.
People that are realizing the value that comes with fungibility, there's
exactly.
So tying into your earlier question, then it's realization and education is a part of making the circular economy too, right? Just 100%. Letting more people know, doing the things like you're doing, right? Getting the word out.
Yeah, gratuitous coffee.
Right.
Speaking of, sponsored by.
Thank you.
How's the coffee? Is it good?
Delicious.
I was going to say it's bad.
This coffee was roasted, like 2 days ago?
Yeah, 2 days ago.
We had him ship it over?
Yeah, all the way from Seattle to New Hampshire. So
we've gotten a lot better
super
at
fresh.
making the coffee.
He's awesome. He's quick.
Our appearance in Portugal was a disaster, though, because we had
because we tried to roast it,
and that was a disaster.
And we had a new roaster. There?
Well, we have a guy who roasted in Seattle. We bought him this
he had
mini
practice.
roaster. It's really cool.
The new guy did not.
What's that?
I said the other guy had practice. This new guy.
Yeah. This guy
pretty hardcore.
The other guy had never practiced.
We shipped a roaster from MONEROTOPIA to Portugal.
Wow. Yeah,
we're trying to create little roasting nodes around the world so that people can order coffee and then it's roasted on demand and shipped out.
Wow.
To do that just from US, it won't work. So we're having them pop up around the world, and we could then send out our coffee. I don't know. We'll see how feasible that is.
See how that goes.
So how long does it take to roast coffee when you
not long at all. It takes 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
But this thing roasts like a pound at a time. And obviously it's an art, right? But this machine is pretty high tech, where it's dumbified to the point where if you just follow the directions, you come out with pretty much perfectly roasted coffee.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
And then we get the beans green now, and then we provide that to our
next
roasters.
Next level stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know why we're putting all this effort into. I mean, the vision is to add other products, right? We want to get traction with the coffee,
right?
But then we want to team up with existing brands and then just have them add the gratuitous component to them. So cool. We're trying to get maybe this guy to jump on board. He has a farm. He produces really good meat, really good steaks. Have him ship it out. We could sell it on gratuitous, or he could just add gratuitous to what he's doing. Ships it out. And then also just a means for people to then send him a tip, in addition to
that's right.
using Monero to pay for your amazing
that's
organic.
Actually, something completely new, right? The ability to tip right back to the source.
Right. You could buy it anonymously, right? If there's and then if you want, you can send a thank you tip, which is what we do when we're here, right? Because you see the labor going into it, the person, you realize the quality. Right. So why not add that component? So it doesn't just have to be the coffee farmers in Guatemala. The idea could apply broadly to any product.
Right. Yeah.
It just gets people understanding a use case for crypto.
Cool.
Beyond just buying, drugs on the dark market. Which
do they do that?
Not that there's anything necessarily wrong with that. It depends what what you consider. What?
You're talking about aspirin?
Aspirin, you get anything.
Aspirin.
You get the super high,
I don't know what you're talking about.
The super dose aspirin.
And you can tip all the way back to Tylenol Corporation.
You get you can pick up some Niagara.
Oh, I don't know that.
That's what I use.
Okay.
What's Niagara?
Well, it's the other way.
Spring water.
Wait, what? I'm not catching the reference.
As opposed to Viagra.
Oh,
Niagara.
Okay.
Wow. Thanks.
Jeez, it's bad when you have to explain your joke.
Yeah, that's what I'm sorry. That was great.
You need Niagara. You actually need
Niagara.
All right, hold on. That deserves
to be problematic.
Well, that's not something you'd want to hide. You'd want to do that out in the open. You'd want to use Monero for buying Viagra, and there's a use case for Bitcoin to buy Niagara. You want the world to know that you have that issue.
In case you're flying a flag.
It's a good problem to have.
Of course. It's not so bad.
Hot mess. Hot mess.
Privacy.
So were you a comedian at any point in your life, or no?
No,
You said
my
you were
wife would
thinking
probably
of.
say it was like some previous life or something like that. But
You did acting though.
I
at some
don't.
point,
I don't
right?
believe in all that previous life
Oh,
stuff.
you did acting?
Yeah, I used to do some acting
Yeah.
and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, no. I refuse to believe the reincarnation stuff because I just refuse to be a part of some recycling program. You know what I mean?
Uh-oh.
I don't want to be a
right,
recycled
bud.
person.
What do you mean? Wait, I'm not on the phone.
No, because my wife might think in a previous life I was a comedian or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But like I said, I don't get that. And look, if I'm going to tell the jokes, you got to pay attention.
Let's just.
I tell you, it's a rough crowd.
You're not tempted by the fact that you could memorize your private keys and then take them into the next
No,
life?
I wouldn't rely upon that. That'd be terrible. No, but no. No, I think it's. I mean, I did some acting when I was younger and stuff like that. I enjoy that, so we enjoy it. I used to work at Disney, so we had a good. Before I joined the Navy, that was fun. Short.
When did you become this, liberty-loving maniac, like myself? You're a true.
He has a little maniac.
when you're, I mean. I've been doing this for a while. We would do every week. I would do a freedom fellowship at my house. So like on Monday nights. So if you're talking to people about freedom at all,
that's amazing. Wow.
You just say, if you want to promote freedom in your community, just plan Monday night to have a fellowship at your house. So where when you're talking to people out working and stuff, say, hey, you're interested in this thing? Come over to my house at 7 o'clock or whatever. We just have a bunch of people come around, hang around, talk about liberty and freedom. So you just have a place to get together so you can seriously talk about. Are you experiencing tyranny in your life, or are you dealing with your government, or helping people to understand what their rights are?
When did you start doing that?
Years ago, since the 90s. Back
amazing.
Mid 90s is when I started. Realizing
in New Hampshire. That was
yeah. It was in New Hampshire. That's when I stopped filing and paying income tax. So I was at that point. I realized that the government wasn't my friend. And so when you see 9/11 and you're like, oh, okay, of course that makes sense. My government's not my friend, So, and the thing is that we're living among people who are not very knowledgeable about their liberty and freedom. So we have an obligation in the freedom community to love our neighbors, to help them understand what their rights are, how to restrict government, keep at bay, not to be looking for government to provide you things and such as that. It's our obligation morally to help your neighbors and friends understand that stuff. And so you become a center of resource for them to be responsible, to love their neighbors, and to not look for government force to be the answer to everything in your your community.
Self-sovereignty.
So,
yeah.
And so that's all it is.
So do you think that that's really happening on a high level in New Hampshire? Has New Hampshire achieved?
Oh, New Hampshire's definitely made huge headrows in that. New Hampshire has one of the largest legislatures in the world. Okay, like, hey there, buddy. There's all these animals. Don't spill my beer. Oh man, see. Anyway, so there's but the idea is that in New Hampshire. We have a very
we had him on last year.
We have a very large legislative body, and that and so there's more representation per people, per person in New Hampshire. We only have like 1,300,000 people in New Hampshire, and so we have a lot more representation. I love it that I can walk into the State House, open carrying or concealing, right into the State House. There's no metal detectors, nothing like that. It's just a thing. So I love that about New Hampshire.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah. And so it has a different kind of vibe. I can walk right up to the Secretary of State's office, go in and see Bill Gardner or whoever's in there, the Deputy Secretary, Dave Scanlon, he's in there. And so, you can know the people in your government. You can know, I've been to parties where Sununu's been there, his family, before he was governor. And so it's that small. And then because New Hampshire is a primary, has the first primary in the nation, every president comes to New Hampshire. So we have that feel and that vibe.
Yeah.
It's a lovely place to be. I could sell New Hampshire all
So
day.
how do you
freedom people. So because I think of the Free State Project, which got 20,000 people to choose to move to New Hampshire as a freedom activist. We hit that mark a couple years ago, and so people are electing representatives in the state house, and we have a presence there. And of course, not everybody's the same, but we've taken some ground, and it's not perfect because there's a lot more work to do. And listen, when I was running for selectman in my town, the Liberty Alliance, the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance, wrote to me, had me fill out a questionnaire. They gave me $100 for my campaign. It's like, hey, that's sweet. I think it's the only donation I got. But you buy signs or whatever it is. So it's an activist thing. It's lovely. And
you got elected, right?
I did. I got elected by a mandate of 2, me and somebody else, everybody else. So it was awesome. So I thanked everybody for voting for me because everybody's vote mattered. So it was cool.
Well, I'm from New York. You're from Boston, right? So it's like we admire what you guys have achieved here. What's your take on New Hampshire, and do you think it's something that we could see spread beyond New Hampshire? Is this the Liberty Index in the United States? Do you think it could start to potentially trend upward? Can we get other states to go down the New Hampshire path?
Well, my understanding of the Free State Project is it started, there were quite a few states that were in the running. So
Wyoming was one,
right? Wyoming was one.
Alaska, Montana, all those were in there.
So I think, a lot of people, the draw of the Free State Project was a lot of people who believed this way, and in this type of freedom came to New Hampshire. But there was a lot of fertile ground out there when it was established. So it seems like those states would be natural candidates to be kind of added to the community.
Definitely.
Wyoming a big
was huge. If you ever read Moulin La Bay by Boston Tea Party, he makes the case. I mean, he talks about the Free State Project at the beginning of the book, and then he makes the suggestion that he felt that Montana was a better state, and then he gets into the fiction of as if Wyoming. And so the whole book is fiction about how Wyoming became the free state and all this stuff. So it's really a great read. I just gave that book to a friend here.
Yeah, very crypto friendly in Wyoming as well.
Yeah. So the beauty of it is we're securing New Hampshire this way, but hey, we're up for some competition. If you think you got a better state, go for it. It's only going to be good for everybody.
Right.
So wouldn't it be great if we were competing with how free you could be? Imagine if that was the election.
Yeah.
This, he's not a freedom guy. I'm a freedom guy, and here's how. It's like that'd be a great kind of a competition, a friendly competition in that capacity. I love that.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's I think New Hampshire's lovely that way. So
yeah, I don't see that happening in New York anytime soon, or
probably
Boston,
not Massachusetts.
and yet the Supreme Court just ruled that with respect to the Second Amendment in New York, that you can't have a qualifier with respect to having a concealed permit and such as that.
Right.
So they were saying they couldn't make it a qualifier.
No, that was tremendous.
And that's tremendous, and that's going to have impact in every state. But that took place in New York.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Tremendous that happened in New York. I didn't see that coming. I didn't know that was coming.
No, it was there. Yeah. So I love that.
Yeah.
Nationally, it seems like there's a fragmentation of politics, right? Where everybody talks about it. People are more on one side than the other. And that has the possibility to play into more freedom and less government.
Freedom seems to be the third option. It's the Libertarian Party, right? And, I feel like it's about to
trying to fill that niche.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to take off more than ever. That's my sense. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. It feels, I mean, part of it is the fragmentation. It makes people maybe a little less trusting, my take of the government now. And, if you trust it less, maybe you want less of it. And so that opens an avenue to having a smaller federal government. I think that, that's kind of, what people here all agree with is
some of that.
Maybe people could debate over the degree to which it needs to be smaller, but smaller in some way.
I mean, I have mixed feelings about what you're describing, because people are, there's a sentiment. When we're hanging out with just freedom-minded people, you might think that, hey, freedom is coming and all that stuff, and what we saw in 2020 in America and the impact of that and where we are and the things that happened not too long ago. And then what's going to happen, elections and stuff in 2024, we really don't know how this is going to play out, because I think people don't have a lot of confidence that elections can be done honestly and such as that. So we're in a real teetering place right now, and don't know how. But I agree that I think people aren't trusting their governments, and I think that's a great place to be. My look is, as a freedom consultant and talking to a lot of people, is that I think that worldwide you see there's a lot of people that are resisting tyranny and are pushing back their government. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
But embracing freedom is a different thing altogether. You see, not wanting tyranny is one thing. That's easy. Wanting freedom requires responsibility. And I really don't see our society stepping up to be responsible. In our communities, we're seeing that. But we're talking about,
but it's a growing community, you'd say, right? You've been in it for a very long time. Do you feel like it's grown
There's a mix.
a lot?
There's a mix, because even in our freedom circles, you still have statists that are still in those freedom circles. It's human. And so it's sometimes, and freedom's a messy thing. It's not because freedom-minded people don't want to go into a particular party or a track, and also it's like herding cats, they say. So and I think that's where we are, and we got to be okay with that messiness of it. It's not clean in that way.
Yeah, I mean, you basically boiled it down to what the issue is, right? Getting people to overcome that barrier of giving up convenience for more liberty.
To really ask someone what's that worth to them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, in freedom, and sometimes people don't even really know what that means, my freedom, and how that plays out. And it's really not freedom, because freedom is that inside thing that you build inside of you in your relationship to the divine, or that which is natural. Freedom's an inside thing. Liberty is where your government may violate your pursuit of happiness or your demonstration of your freedom. That's liberty that's being violated. So, but the more and more that we can get people to walk in love, to volunteer, to care about their neighbors without being compelled to, you're going to see a beautiful world come from that. And that's what you like, or that we all like about here at the Porcfest.
Yeah,
is just how lovely
humanity at its best.
It is.
People just hanging out.
Everybody's walking
having
by
a
with
good time.
10,000 dogs, and
so much creativity, amazing conversation. I mean, this is what life's supposed to be, and then you work to sustain this.
Yeah,
like this is as good as it gets. That's what.
Well, I hope not.
What people don't. Well,
we're still pushing this way, but
we could improve. No, we could improve the Oreo a little bit.
No, that's perfect.
It was a little dry. Let's be honest.
Was it? Okay.
It's good with coffee.
Have another go at it.
Would you like one? Would you like?
I should try.
Preheat it again. I'll heat it for a third time. It'll be extra crispy.
No, we can make a new one.
It's turning into more of a scone, actually. An Oreo scone.
No, we have fresh ones.
That could be a thing.
That could be a thing, right?
Yeah. The Oreo for breakfast.
We could have that take off in Soho, New York, selling for $20 for one.
The O scones.
0.1 Monero.
The O scones.
The O scones. The O scone.
The O scone. An O scone. They're pretty tasty.
No, you see this politically, where I remember being in on these Republican meetings, and they're just beating up Democrats. I'm like, hey, can we stop this? It's like, no one here is a Democrat. We don't give a crap about that. It's like, how about we be a little critical on who we are and what we're about? It's like, listen, the Muslims over there aren't trying to, they're not trying to take our freedoms. If you think that's what that's about, you're not paying attention. It's like, look, there are standards of either the Constitution or there's standards of liberty and freedom, and the Republican Party not happening. So, like, how about if we step up our game? How about if we're critical of ourselves and step up our game about freedom? And that's why these parties are just back and forth, same old crap. But freedom-minded people, there are standards of liberty that we want to step up, and where people are loving each other, and they allow, and it's beautiful. I love all that.
Yeah, I mean, just take it back to Monero. I think that's what's great about Monero crypto, Monero in particular, is it's a way to get people to start living a more free, liberated life.
Yeah,
where they don't have to make a big sacrifice. Yeah. There is, it's the holding of the keys which freaks people out. So there is
overcome.
I think so. a lot of people to use crypto correctly, right?
Yeah. No, I get that.
Most people are using it incorrectly, right? They have it on exchanges or hosted wallets. But
it's always more room for improvement and usability.
Yeah. But Monero is doing a very good job in terms of if you do take a few choice steps, which isn't that hard right now. You just have to like download an app on your phone, write down your key and be able to like open up the barcode. You do that, you have digital cash, private, and it's pretty easy enough to where people might, are starting to be willing to overcome the traditional banking system for what they see as the benefits of, oh, that's like cash. Yeah, like people want that.
But I mean,
people want that in their
imagine
life.
how trusting people are. How many times you've been in a restaurant, you're having your meal, and you just hand the server your credit card with the number, with the expiration date, and the digits in the back. Where'd it go? It's disappearing into the kitchen. It's like, you don't know what they're doing.
You turn over everything needed to spend again.
Exactly. So it's like how, and no problem there. So imagine if crypto's a lot more private than that. And so I mean, and so people are kind of weird at that. So I agree.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It can work out. People can figure out how to keep their private keys private. And
no. I'm just saying that's an example of what you're talking about, right? You have to do a little work. You have to be,
it's worth it.
You have to put some effort in. It's not as easy as using your credit card.
Well, exactly.
I mean, it is, but you have to, once you've mentally overcome it,
Yeah.
But that requires work.
Exactly. I mean, my wife does classes. One of the things that she enjoys is bringing people that are that are very new to the digital space and help learning how to set up a wallet for the first time, protecting their privacy. So a lot of people are ignorant of the whole space, and then they can learn how to set up a wallet and stuff. And so she does a lot of hand holding and helps them, come into that space. So, and I think that that's an important thing for all of us to do, is to help people come into the cryptocurrency space.
Yeah.
And especially in the area of privacy and all that. So that's cool.
And people were resistant of like ATM cards and credit cards when they first came out too. It takes time. Some of these things, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. I mean, remember the first transaction you did online? Like, oh no.
Oh, right. You had
yeah.
conversations with people. Are you buying things online with your credit card?
Yeah, exactly.
I remember telling people, yeah,
and
sure.
It's like now I've memorized my credit card. It's like, but I mean, yeah, it was all of that. The first time that you're using that you're using your credit card online. So it's a thing to overcome. It's a thing to to embrace and to enjoy.
Yeah.
So she's in the background.
The sign.
It's great. Yeah. So she gets the setup. It's great. It's because you can see the coffee thing in the background.
Yeah. But now the sign went down.
I know. Here's
yeah.
It's awesome.
There's a lot going on. You're seeing the behind the scenes. It's not as easy.
The wind's blowing. We're not in a studio.
Beautiful setup though, right? Beautiful view.
Yeah. Good job.
We're gonna have. Is Jay gonna jump on? Ah, okay.
There is one thing I'd like to add to
walk over to him.
Yeah, I'll move the camera if you want.
Let me see if I can.
He's gonna use this.
No, this will be good. This is a directional mic.
That's awesome.
Can we get
How
close
far
enough?
it goes.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
But you can take this actually.
An extension cord.
No, this is longer actually. Go with this one.
Yeah, go for it.
That is longer than you. Okay.
Excellent.
$7 for what? All right, Jay.
Well, might be better if you stood over here behind me.
I don't know how close I get. How about over here? This might work. Yeah, we wanted to have you on. I know we met last year. You're I think one of the most well-known vendors here. You've been coming to Porcfest forever, right, man?
Yeah, I think 2007 was my first time.
And so how have things evolved over the years? What's your take on Porcfest, the like trajectory of Porcfest, how we started and where we are now?
Well,
I don't mean we. I wasn't part. I've only been here for 2 years.
No, that's definitely grown in size. So it's, you know, sold out the last 2 years. It's you know, had you know, some drama. You know, it got big, and then it shrunk a little bit with, you know, the Ian Freeman getting banned, you know, stuff, and I think people learned. People learned. All right, I'm talking to a bunch of people. She's got to get a diaper changed.
So dude, you are an animal, man. You've been going all night too, right? Like, weren't you serving till like 2 a.m.?
I guess, yeah, about 2 a.m. Yep. So then I just had to, when there was no one eating, so I just start cleaning up. I had a bunch of plates full of food, so I just went and gave it to, you know, a bunch of, you know, teenagers that were up late and having a good time. So
real quick, what's your Monero take? I want people to hear you talk about Monero in terms of like whether you see it growing in adoption at Porcfest, things like that.
I see it growing in adoption everywhere, because all the people that I've been dealing with for years who were talking about, you know, Bitcoin, for example, you know, 10 years ago, that were, you know, really smart about it and that made a lot of money in Bitcoin and sort of had the, you know, the experience, the skill set, the knowledge, and sort of the confidence to, you know, see what it is in the future, you know, say the same thing about actually a handful of privacy coins. And I always say to people, what is your top 5 privacy coins? And they always say like the coin they have the most of first, whatever that is. But it's either Monero is the first answer, or the second, and then the second one is Monero. And then they're like, well, I only have a whole bunch of Hush coin because I'm a developer, and I, you know, and you know, and he's into it early. And then there's some other coins too, but at least Monero is sort of, you know, it's been around for a while. It's not just brand new. And I honestly don't even understand how it's so secure, but just the fact that, you know, like, you know, I won't even use GPS on my phone anymore. And, you know, the number one thing I like about not using GPS is that GPS was diminishing my hunter-gatherer skills. It's like, you don't know where the hell you're going unless the GPS is on. You know, and I've
completely lost my sense of direction, actually.
So many people are like, well, I won't. So I'll give you directions to my house. So I'm moving that shit to people when they're like coming there that haven't been there, instead of just giving them an address. And because like, that's how I did it 20 years ago. When I delivered a load of hay, they give me directions, you know, take I-90 to exit 8, you know, take a left, go Route 32 north, you know, take a right, 3.5 miles up, and that's Old Warren Road, and go up there in 1.25 miles on the left, and that's the place. So, you know, that's our farm. We tell people how to get to our farm when they come there in Massachusetts. So so it's just interesting. And also now I have a de-Googled phone, so I don't ever turn the location on. So I don't use, but I will look up, go on like a map app, not map, but map browser, and bring up a map. And I also have paper maps in a truck. So I don't know where the hell I got to that. Oh,
mostly you like the privacy. Yeah.
And be like, I want to drive from here to there. You do that on your cell phone. Somebody knows about it. So like, paper map is like, you know, it's very private and anonymous.
It's the cache of maps.
So if now I can use a cell phone to do that, and it's Monero essentially in the Bitcoin in crypto transaction, you know, how that's as valuable as like a paper map that's in a digital format for currency. I see just paper maps, for example, as one of the most valuable tools you can have, and everyone should have one in their car. And 50 years ago, everybody did. It's kind of a segue, but
quick question. I know we talked about potentially trying to have you sell your products for Monero online. Is that something you would consider doing?
Yes, I would consider doing it.
I know there's definitely demand out there in the Monero community. People looking to, you know, you could even do it in an anonymous way. Just provide address, pay Monero, and have meat and eggs sent out. You know,
that would be really good. And you know, another thing I want to do is I want to make basically my farm a virtual petting zoo. So Neil at Barstow just started the project already with rabbits. So there's a live stream of rabbits, and you can send a cryptocurrency to an address of say $1, and it'll turn the auger on, and it'll spin the rabbits out some feed. So The most profitable farm I ever saw was a petting zoo. And the guy would buy 50 pound bags of grain in like this was 1996 or 93. I may have first went there. I was like 13 or 14. He'd buy like a 50 pound bag of grain for $3.50, cheap feed, very low protein, sort of a filler feed. And you'd put it in gumball machines and you'd put in 50 cents in the gumball machines and give you a palm full of grain. And you go, and that equaled like, I don't remember, like 60 or 80 bucks that equaled. So he got paid, you know, basically like $160 a hundredweight to feed his own animals.
All right, so we could pay Monero online to feed rabbits in New Hampshire. Coming soon. I got to sit down, man. I don't know how you're doing the heat over there. Jeez. Yeah. That guy is unstoppable. with his baby in his arms. He's like
good at working and doing everything.
Right.
He's able to fix things. He does man camp, where boys and girls can learn real life skills like welding and shoeing horses and doing all this stuff on farms.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he does all that stuff. He did that before here, and I think he's going to do it again. But yeah, man camp.
Oh, that's a good thing to bring up. Did you see this? The maybe you know about this. The guy that's selling his 11 acres for Monero, or Bitcoin or Monero preferred.
Really? Is that like in New Hampshire?
You know, somebody has a little stand set up.
Oh, I know the Gordons. Yeah, they're selling this.
So anybody that wants to buy an 11-acre farm
here in New Hampshire.
It certainly got my attention. I was looking at it.
Yeah, they should just reach out.
I don't know if I'm ready to spend Monero right now at this point in the market, but geez.
Well, I'm in the market.
If nobody bought it, by the time Monero hits $1,000, I'll give them a call.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. I mean, I'm trying to find someone to buy. I want to buy some Monero, but trying to find someone who wants to sell it right now has been challenging.
Yeah, I know. I've been spending a lot at, just because I can't help do it, especially at Porcfest.
You're nice.
I know. Can't help it.
You're very supportive of the community.
Yeah. You got to spend.
You don't want to buy it on Kraken. You can buy it on Kraken.
No, I don't like to use KYC platforms. So.
Okay. Yeah.
But
should we jump to
the price report?
Should we do that? I feel like we're gonna. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it because you already did it. We did a pre-recorded one.
Yeah, and then you guys can hang around or do whatever, move on, and then we'll close out the show. Whatever you guys want to do.
Show. But we'll do we have a pre-recorded price report from aFungible. He did it early this morning, so
the price is not drastic.
I know, probably, but just FYI.
Sing the price report.
I'm doing it right now. Well,
and now for the price report.
Well, I do talk. I don't sing.
The MONEROTOPIA price report segment is sponsored by Local Monero. Avoid using KYC exchanges. Buy and sell Monero directly for fiat, peer-to-peer.
Hold on. And just FYI, the guest segment was sponsored by Cake Wallet, Monero.com wallet. So just doing that. All righty, here we go with the price report.
This is the price report number 25 on-chain and technical analysis. To begin with, I'm going to just mention these two companies. Important to mention, Celsius and Three Arrows Capital, which went down, and along with it, it brought down a lot of hard-earned investors' money. With their onslaught, there was also loss in the investor confidence in the overall crypto markets in alternative currencies. And that is the altcoins, and that has also taken a beat on the markets. Today I'm going to discuss about the fear and greed heat map, talk about the on-chain data, which are the 4 indicators mentioned on the screen, and the technical analysis. So I want to basically point out where we are in the market structure and where we might be heading. So this is the fear and greed heat map, which shows how oversold or overbought are we. The green indicates highly a greed indication of the heat map, and right now we are at oversold territory. With 19,000, we were at the all-time lows pretty much, historically speaking. So we are at an oversold territory as we speak. We are not 100% sure if we are going to go further down, but looks like the selling pressure has exhausted for the moment. So I'm going to move to the on-chain analysis, the indicators, the first one of which is the 200-week moving average heat map. So what you see here, the long-term trend line is the 200-week moving average, currently sitting about 22,300. And historically, broadly speaking, this has held during all the past bear markets. And this is also a key level to watch for the technical traders and the long-term investors, some of who will be willing to allocate capital at this level due to the perceived importance as a bottom signal. So right now we are at these levels. We went down to 17,000, we bounced back, and we are again flirting around these levels. So this is the price. This is the 22,300 is the price to watch, and I see that we are around those levels currently. The next one in line is the MVRV-Z ratio. This signal that you see here is the Z ratio, which shows heavily oversold territories in the past. So whenever we enter the green territory, shows that we in the market are heavily oversold, especially about the Bitcoin. That's what I'm talking about right now. And this marks the key areas of uncertainty. You would see that this also happened during the March 2020 pandemic crash. And this has happened several times in the past during the bear markets. And this indicator is also very important to help manage the emotions of the long-term investors, to know where we are in the market cycle. The next one in line I would talk about is the realized price, which is basically again the long-term trend line between the one that you see in the price is the market price of Bitcoin, and the one below is the realized price. And you'd see, except for the March 2020 crash, the market price went above the realized price quite immediately. But in all the other bear markets in the past that we have seen, we have sustained below this orange line for many months. So let's say, for example, we take 2015, it was between January and November. So almost for a year, we were under this line. So the current climate of the stock markets and the geopolitical situation is not favorable. So I would draw analogies from the past of 2015 and also the 18 bear markets. In this case, we were down for, again, for almost 8 months. And I would say that for the coming months, we would be flirting around these levels. In fact, below this orange line, which is tending to go up over time. So I see ourselves around these price levels. And what is also happening here is it's a game of patience for the coming months. And also a patience for the Bitcoin miners, because a lot of Bitcoin miners hold a lot of Bitcoins currently. And Bitcoin price is about 20,000 right now. There are electricity costs which they have to pay off. And it's quite logical to think that some miners might be struggling and may go even out of business. So what do they do to kind of avoid this? They sell Bitcoins to survive, which adds to further sell pressure into the markets. So while talking about Bitcoin miners, we have to talk about the pool multiple, which is a representation of the miners' revenues versus the historical trends or benchmarks. And it just happened so in, I think, the beginning of June, that it has alerted us into the green zone, which is a pure indication of the miners going under maximum stress in terms of their revenues. This has also happened in the past, and it's not new. And this typically happens whenever the Bitcoin price is in its lower state, not also bottoming out around these regions. So when the miners capitulate. So we would see, I would show you in one of the next charts, the miners have not yet completely capitulated. So it might be something that is coming. And I've also seen other indicators to find out where will the sell pressure be exhausted. And I find those levels to be about 15,000 to 15,500 to 16,000 levels. Again, I'm not saying that we're going that low, but that is the place where the sell pressure will be completely exhausted. And that could be the result of capitulation around those levels. And I don't see that coming in the next few days because right now the markets are taking a breather. But this whole study that I'm showing right now is only a probability to base our decisions for long-term investment. Now I'm going to come to the technical analysis. Nothing much interesting to show because in this bear market, the on-chain charts do the talking by itself. But we see last time I did show that although we are going down in RSI, so there is a possibility of a rally to 25,000-ish levels where I see some kind of resistance. And then 30,000 is really, really big resistance. We do see miners capitulating. So they might actually take the opportunity if and when Bitcoin touches 25,000 or even goes towards 30,000, they might be selling. So they might be the sellers in the market. So this is something to keep an eye on. The next thing is the Bitcoin dominance. It's been flirting around the 40% to 50%. And I do see as money flows from the altcoins to Bitcoins due to lack of the consumer investor sentiment, it's going to increase slightly the Bitcoin dominance. And a couple of more things about the Monero's dominance. Currently, we are sitting around 0.24. I think we're just going to follow the trend of Bitcoin in the overall bear market. But with interest peaking in also the transactions being at all-time high, I do see this picking up steam a little bit, but it might be a game of patience. And another thing to point out, which was a bit concerning, that the Monero's average daily transaction volumes on exchanges have been about $180 million for the last 6 months on average, plus minus. And it's dropped down to double digits, about 60 to 70 million for the last week or so. And this could certainly be because of the overall bear markets in place and people, not trying to trade that much on the exchanges. So that could potentially bring down the volumes. But we also see that the transactions are pretty much at all-time highs if you even see in the last 1 year or 3 years, it's pretty much peaking. So the interest is growing over time. But one of my hypotheses earlier was this transaction from the beginning of June when the tail emission started. We also had like the drop down in prices. So people could be moving their coins across to exchanges for selling. And the recent price pump that we saw from less than $100 to $120 could also be because of purchasing and moving coins back to the wallet. So it's not completely clear at the moment, so we have to wait and watch for the next couple of weeks to see where this trend goes. The average transactions per day for this year has been about 22,000. So I'm happy to see this growing, but I could also see that this comes down to about 25,000 in the coming days or weeks. But if this keeps on going up, then I would be proven wrong. And that is all from my side for this week's price report, and I hope you learned something from it. I wish you all a great day ahead.
On the price report because we were just hanging out during it, but it allowed us to have some downtime. Thank you, aFungible. I'll go back and listen to it. Yeah, guys. So we'll probably wrap it up unless anybody wants to jump on stage. Everybody's got their headphones on, so if anybody wants to jump on stage, anybody out there, jump on, ask a question.
Alrighty. Let's see if anyone wants to jump. Well, let's do our little segment, right? Hold on. My viewers on stage.
No, dude. Yeah. Do we have anybody that wants to jump?
Viewers on stage segment. It's that time where we invite you, the viewers, up on stage to comment on anything you've heard so far today, ask the guest a question, or maybe talk about one of the news topics. Come on down.
Come on. They weren't listening to the
yeah. You've been missing all the little effects Sunita has going.
I know. I have a lot of.
Sunita's awesome.
Very good. Yeah, well, you had some admirers on here, I believe.
Oh, great!
Somebody asked if you're taken. Yes, she is. By me. You'll have to come through me first.
Oh, goodness gracious! Help me, Lord.
Let's go through the comments.
I think I kind of answered them all.
Okay. Well, no, I saw
for the most part. Oh no, not really. Well, They were talking about the audio.
Complaining about the sound.
Did anybody?
I tried my best.
Did anybody order a steak or a burger?
No, but people were excited about that.
Oh, somebody said we should do next Monerotopia in New Hampshire.
Oh, that would be lovely.
Yeah, you want to pitch your idea? I thought it was a great idea.
No, I mean, I'd love to. I mean, the Mount Washington Hotel is in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, is where the International Monetary Fund launched in New Hampshire. And that's a historical, one of those world places, that they, that the globalists like. But I would like to see that property taken back for freedom, and certainly for freedom money, if you will, or currency. Mm-hmm. So it would be great for Monero to come right in there, and that we do a world event right there in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, and just and do another official act of some sort and certify it and do all that and have them put that on the wall and change that energy.
The shot
completely.
Heard around the world.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's
and tell them to go pound sand to those banksters. Yes.
Okay.
So
that would be pretty epic.
Yeah, no, I think it would be great, and just we can. I'll try to be kind. I'll self-censor.
Please don't. Please do not.
No, I mean, it's like,
don't hold back. Not here. Not on this show.
No. I mean, the idea is that they, the bankers have committed more murder and war and mayhem in the planet, and I think that we have to take that back for the people. And so, yeah, I'll just, spit on their things and we'll go into that room and videotape and say, this is where the crime started for this International Monetary Fund, where they bought in other governments and things around the world. And now we're going to bring that back, and we're going to have this, and maybe we'll do a cryptocurrency transaction right there in the room, between two people, and have that be a historical event. Never happened before in the history of the world. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I'd be up for help facilitate that.
Well, there you go. That's a Monero.
So I'd be looking for somebody,
idea. Yeah.
Somebody to be a part of that with me. We'll get the sponsors, and we'll have Bitcoin, the big altcoin. There's Monero, and then that big altcoin, Bitcoin, over there, and we'll have them come in and have their little thing.
We'll give a corner.
We'll give them a
booth.
The big M, and that'll be the Monero, and then they'll have their booth over here, Bitcoin.
We gotta turn the tables.
Exactly, it'll be lovely.
Their booth will be larger than Pirate Chains. We'll give them that.
Well, Pirate Chain wants to just be kind of like off to the side.
They won't even go.
No. They'll be there. Cool. They'll show up. They'll have a great presence there, because that's all part about taking back that energy.
The tribalism is crazy though, right? It's interesting at Porcfest because it is a multi-currency world here.
Yeah.
But what's very nice though is, while people are certainly tribal to a degree, right? Like I'm walking around, I'm the Monero guy. There's also this. There's no, it's a shit coin to anything, really. It's like everybody's open to being like, that guy's, and pretty much all the vendors are willing to accept anything.
Right.
We live in an age where no matter what they get, they could easily transfer it into whatever crypto they prefer.
Right.
So it's just interesting to see how that plays out in the real world.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
You had mentioned gold backs. That's a gold kind of paper.
Yeah, love
type
those.
Things. That's awesome. That's beautiful.
Yeah, those are
Matter
beautiful.
of fact, they were giving it out to everybody that came in.
Yeah, we got one. Yeah.
Over there and,
now you
nice.
can buy those with Monero over there with cash, but they accept Monero. But I don't think they accept Monero online to purchase them. I want to talk to them about that, because
that's a good idea.
I mean, there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to anonymously purchase some gold backs, right? I don't see that being a money transmitter issue.
Right. I think they would advocate that.
Yeah, that'd be very cool.
So you can go buy them with cash.
Right. Yeah.
It's cool.
It's a nice way to go into a quote unquote stable coin anonymously, potentially.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk to him.
That'd be
about
cool.
That. Yeah.
You do that.
I'll be right back, guys.
I'll be right back. All right.
You'll have to get on your little whatever Segway that they have running around there.
I need a horse.
I was looking at all of the rules of the campground rules. As I don't walk in between everybody's campsites. No bicycles. no bicycles and all these things, and all of those things are here, and they're all so all the rules are being broken in the campground, and everybody's happy.
Live free or die.
Fran, you want to say hello to everybody? The
camera's right there.
Oh, hello.
What's your take on Porcfest?
I like it.
How does it compare to last year?
Well, we know more people, and we know the places where you could eat and the shops you could go to, so it's fun.
And are a lot of people using cryptocurrency here? What do you think?
Yes.
she's too cool.
She's like, I know.
No. Only she wants to. Anything else you want to say, Fran? No. All right.
Anyways, moving on.
All right. Yes. So we'll wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up.
Nobody wants to jump on stage.
No, we have one on stage, but my battery's gonna die, so we can get on for a little bit.
Molly, you want to say hi?
Hi.
Molly's is the house. She lives here.
Okay. Well, I don't know if she wants to be on camera or whatever.
Okay. Then.
Let's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
Hi, individual A. How's it going? If you want to say hello. Hi, you're very loud.
Fine. Yeah.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yep. Now we can hear you. How's it going?
Okay. Thanks. I'm fine.
Good. You want to?
What's going on?
Well, I just thought of hopping on, say hi to you guys. Enjoying the show, enjoying the talk. Just learned about Porcfest and about what the Free State movement, what it stands for. Very interesting. A little bit far from us here in Europe, but yes, this is where we should be going, right?
Is there anything like this going on in Europe? What would you compare it to in Europe?
Difficult. I don't know if we have something like that.
A
lot of things are different, like the whole thing with the carrying guns or owning guns or something like that. We don't have here. What I think politically, the EU is something like the federal government over there in the US. It's a nice thing to have, a nice concept, but somehow not really to trust. So maybe something like that. But we just got over nationalism, so we better unite Europe before we try to start some freedom states.
Individual, any comments on Monero? What's going on with Monero or anything? Any input there?
Well, I enjoyed the Monero Con in Portugal and learned a lot of things there. But right now it's on sale, so shopping Monero right now.
Did you attend in person the one at MoneroCon?
Yes, we met.
Yeah, I met him.
Yeah, which okay.
Hello again.
Sunita will have to explain. Yeah, remind me of who you were. Awesome. What was your take on the conference overall?
Well, good thing to have a conference after the 2 years of COVID. Meeting a lot of new people, hearing a lot of good talks. It was a great conference in Portugal. Very good organized, and that's basically it. Learned a lot, and met new friends. Definitely.
Awesome. All right, guys. Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up and just enjoy the rest of our Porcfest here.
Yeah.
Maybe go talk to the gold bats.
Jump on, but unfortunately, my battery's dying. So.
Well, you want to let them try
real
real quick?
I told them.
Individual A, we're gonna go to the next person. Well, you can hang on if you want.
Opt out gamer. If you want to jump on, there is the link.
Go for it. Opt out. Otherwise, we're gonna close it off.
4. No. Is he jumping?
We're gonna go relax.
Yeah.
Is the pool still open?
Oh my God! Oh, that pool was freezing. It was nice.
It was very nice, though.
Good water was very, very cold. Okay. I put the link in the chat, but it looks like this person does not want to jump on.
All right, let's close it out. You guys, anything? Any last remarks?
No, thanks you guys for making this community available here at the Porcfest. You know, the Monero community. I love it. You guys are very hospitable and endearing. So
thanks for starting our fire last night, by the way.
Yeah, we started and put it out. That was good. But no, it was good. I like the camping vibe is great for people, and and that's kind of cool. So
awesome, man. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for jumping on. Any
thanks for supporting Monero and the great coffee too.
Yeah, exactly. Very welcome. All right,
people like the coffee.
Nito, any last words?
I just want to see if this person wants to jump on, but I guess not. Our one viewer on Twitch, which is,
okay,
it's a big deal.
But they're not saying anything.
No.
Okay.
I said that, but yeah, I guess let's
close it out.
Quits. Yeah.
All right.
So
thank you so much,
for
guys,
joining us. Appreciate your love and support.
Ciao.
And with that, adios. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
See you next time.
Thank
Bye.
you for joining us on this week's MONEROTOPIA episode. We stream live shows every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. You can find and subscribe to our show on YouTube and Odyssey, or listen to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or Stitcher. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter or join us in the MONEROTOPIA Telegram group. See you all next week.